Okay, so we're going to finish up our notes from, what lesson are we on here again? Remind me. 6.1? Yep. We're on 6.1 notes 2. We're on the back side. So on page 393, the check it out problems. What does it say? What are the directions for this section? What is it asking us to do? Find the check it out problem on page 393.
Validate each expression, evaluate the variables.
Okay, evaluate each expression given the values of the variables. And again, don't want our answers in decimal form, okay? So we're going to, whenever we evaluate for a value, we substitute in the number that they give us for the variable. So we want 4 substituted in for P. And now it looks just like what we did yesterday. What would be our step of work for this one? What do we do when we have a negative exponent? How do we rewrite this?
Put it under 1.
We say that can be 1 over 4 to the third positive 3 power, right? Okay. And then we take that one step further and we say 4 to the third power can be simplified to what? What is 4 times 4?
16.
16, and then 16 times 4 again?
64.
64. So our answer is 164.
Oh, we did it easy then.
Okay, so just like we said yesterday, a negative exponent does not make it negative, it makes it smaller probably, right? Yeah. Haley.
So what happens when you have like the 64 instead of the number 64? Does that happen in the homework?
So you're wondering why sometimes is there not a 1 upstairs? Okay, I think those were times when it was a fraction being taken to a power, a negative power. When a fraction is being taken to a negative power, then we are going to get a number greater than 1. We won't have that. So we can maybe practice one of those too in a little bit here. Okay? Okay, so let's substitute in for our next one. We have 8 times a to the second, negative 2 power, times b to the 0 power, when a is equal to negative 2 and b is equal to 6. So let's substitute those values in first of all. Remember, when you have when you have a negative number being taken to a power, you have to put it in parentheses.
And 6 to the 0
and
power?
6 is getting taken to the 0 power because b is 6. Now we're going to simplify anything that can be simplified before we multiply here. So 8 is 8, right?
Yep.
Okay. And negative 2 to the negative 2 power can be rewritten how?
1 over negative 2.
Yeah, 1 over negative 2 still in parentheses to the positive 2 power.
And the other one's 1.
And then the other one is 1 because anything except 0 to the 0 power is 1. Okay. So now let's take this over here and let's say 8 can be put as over 1. You can make that into a fraction, correct? By putting it over 1?
Yeah.
And then our 1 over negative 2 squared. What is negative 2 times itself? 4. And multiplying by 1 is just 1 still, but we'll make it 1 over 1.
Count the 4 and the 8 cancel out.
Sure, we can do that. We could say we have multiplying fractions here. So when we're multiplying fractions, we can simplify before we multiply, right? 4 goes into itself once, and it goes into 8 twice.
So 2 times
So we have 2 times 1 times 1 is 2, and 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So our answer is, our final answer is 2. So today we're working with them with a variable in the place, in them, being taken to either a negative power or a 0 power, substituting in a value and applying the stuff we did yesterday to it. So that's all we're going to practice on that. Is any questions? Anything that's confusing? Really, the only thing that's different about this is we had to substitute in, and then we might have to do some multiplying, right? Okay, now we're going to see how well we really understand this. We're going to find the missing value. So it says 1 over 25 equals 5 to what power?
The second. Oh, I already know this is the second.
Well, careful. rewrite this as 1 over, what power name can we give 25? 5 to what power is 25? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, so 5 squared, but is that the way it is over here? Is it 1 over 5 to the question mark? No. So, do you remember from yesterday, I think it was, on the front side of our notes, so you turn your notes over, what can we do? We have 1 over x to the n power, and it can become x to the negative n. So this can become 5 to the negative 2 power. The 5 squared can move back upstairs and now go back to its negative state.
Why isn't it negative 2?
Because remember, if it was, what would we do with this to rewrite this? This 5 to the negative 2 power. What would we do with that? What would we do if we wanted to get rid of the negative power here? We'd write it as 1 over 5 to the second power.
Oh,
So we kind of are working backwards here, aren't we? That's really what we're doing. We're kind of working backwards, saying, oh, well, 1 over 25 is the same as 1 over 5 squared. 5 squared
is the opposite.
It came from upstairs being negative, didn't it?
Like,
It's really completely reversed.
Yeah, so we're completely reversing it. So our question mark is the negative 2 is what we just found. We needed to know 5 to what power is 1/25. So we worked backwards. Okay. The next one says question mark over 8 equals 2 to the negative 3 power. I'm thinking it might be a really good idea to take this 2 to the negative 3 power and rename it. So what is 2 to the negative 3 power? How can we rewrite that?
8.
No, what's
Oh, just kidding. 1
1
over 2.
over 2 to the
Third power.
third power, which is the same as 1 over,
2 to the negative.
what is 2 to the third power? 8.
Oh,
And looky
just
here, what's our question mark then?
1.
1. We just found the question mark. It's 1.
Well, that was simple.
Okay, we're going to practice one more of these. You get to do some of these in your homework to see how well we really understand this. Okay, it's asking 2 over what is equal to this. So we first got to figure out what that is. So we're not going to worry about this right now. We're going to say 2 can be rewritten as 2 over 1 just to make it into a fraction.
And then
1
1 over 3 to the second power.
1 over 3 squared.
Check actually square it out.
And now we are going to do that. 2 over 1 times 1 over
6.
9.
Not 6.
9. Oh.
And what does that actually equal? 2 ninths, doesn't it? So what's, remember, we're looking
9.
for our,
9.
what goes underneath the 2?
9.
9.
Okay, that's there.
Okay. So that's the end, the rest of these notes, and now that's some of the stuff that you're going to, this is the type of thing you're going to be practicing in your homework